High on a mountain in Italy stood Monte Cassino, a historic monastery overlooking a strategic valley. In 1944, this sacred ground became a battleground, one of the fiercest of World War II. German forces, determined to block the Allied advance towards Rome, transformed the mountain into a seemingly impregnable fortress. The Battle for Monte Cassino would become a symbol of both German resilience and Allied determination. It would also be one of the most controversial battles of the war, marked by heavy casualties and the destruction of a priceless cultural treasure. Monte Cassino held immense strategic value. Situated on the Gustav Line, the German defensive line across Italy, it guarded the Liri Valley, the gateway to Rome. Control of the valley and the roads leading to Rome made Monte Cassino crucial for both sides. The Germans, under the skilled command of General Fridolin von Senger und Ettelin, heavily fortified the mountain with bunkers, trenches and artillery positions. They were prepared for a long and bloody fight. In January 1944, the Allied forces, comprised of British, American, Indian and New Zealand troops, launched their first assault on Monte Cassino. The terrain was treacherous, the German defences formidable. The Allies faced fierce resistance and heavy casualties. Despite their courage, the Allies were unable to break through. The first assault on Monte Cassino ended in failure. The Germans, fighting with skill and determination, held their ground. For weeks, the battle raged. The Allies launched repeated attacks, but the Germans held firm. The mountainous terrain, heavily fortified defences and poor weather conditions favoured the defenders. Each assault resulted in heavy Allied casualties. The Germans, though outnumbered, were masters of defensive warfare. The battle for Monte Cassino had reached a bloody stalemate. Faced with mounting losses and a seemingly unbreakable enemy, the Allies made a controversial decision to bomb the historic monastery atop Monte Cassino. They believed, perhaps mistakenly, that the Germans were using the abbey as an observation post and stronghold. On 15th February 1944, American bombers dropped over 1,000 tons of explosives on the monastery, reducing it to rubble. The bombing of Monte Cassino remains one of the most debated actions of World War II. Section 6. A controversial decision. The bombing of Monte Cassino ignited a firestorm of controversy. Was it a military necessity or a cultural tragedy? Had the Germans indeed occupied the abbey, or had the Allies destroyed a priceless historical monument for no strategic gain? The debate continues to this day. What is certain is that the bombing did not achieve its intended objective. The Germans had evacuated the monastery prior to the bombing, and the rubble created ideal defensive positions for them. Section 7. Breaking the Gustav Line. Despite the destruction of the monastery, the battle for Monte Cassino continued. Finally, in May 1944, a massive Allied offensive combining infantry attacks with heavy artillery bombardments broke through the German defences. The Polish II Corps, after weeks of fierce fighting, captured the ruins of the monastery. With the fall of Monte Cassino, the Gustav Line was breached, opening the road to Rome. Section 8. Costly triumph. The Allied victory at Monte Cassino came at a heavy price. Thousands of soldiers on both sides lay dead. The battle had lasted for months, a brutal test of endurance and resolve. The victory, though significant, was a somber one. The destruction of the monastery and the loss of so many lives left an indelible mark. The Battle of Monte Cassino served as a reminder of the terrible cost of war. Section 9. Legacy of Monte Cassino. Monte Cassino stands as a symbol of the fierce fighting that characterized the Italian campaign in World War II. It is remembered for the bravery of the soldiers on both sides, the difficult terrain, and the controversial decision to bomb the monastery. The battle serves as a reminder of the strategic importance of Italy in the war, and the heavy price paid for its liberation. The rebuilt Monte Cassino Abbey stands today as a symbol of peace and a reminder of the tragic consequences of war.